This is Lauren Dalvia, astrologer, numerologist, spiritual teacher here with Bene Mudra. Thanking James for the platform as ever. August 16th, and we're just going to get into, there's like two really big placements I want to focus on this week, and I'll get into some nuts and bolts. So the planet Uranus just went retrograde yesterday on August 15th. So this is, the world won't literally turn upside down, but Uranus retrograde will definitely bring up a lot of surprises. So Uranus or Uranus is different than other planets. Nothing like other planets. The only way to understand Uranus is to try not to understand, or at least not with our sort of mercurial fact-driven minds. Uranus is like the pow, zoinks, zowie, zap that we have in like Batman and comics. He's the flash of insight that comes from the sky. It does not come from your mind or from someone inside you. It literally comes from the sky above. So Uranus is all about surprises. You cannot understand him, you cannot prepare for him, and you cannot master him. So it's sort of like the nature of Uranus is change, and its role is to take you by surprise and turn your life upside down. So, you know, will that be possible if you attempt to tame Uranus or to prepare for it? No, Uranus energy comes like a flash of lightning. I always joke with students that it's sort of like, you know, you walk out the door and a piano falls on your head, or you walk out the door and get like an incredible promotion. It's like, it's really a shock. And so, Uranus was once nicknamed the human lightning conductor. It's like, that's kind of the energy that we're dealing with. And so, what we have right now is Uranus in the sky opposite Saturn. And if like, with Saturn, you know exactly what you're going to get. It's basically rules versus freedom with regard to Saturn opposite Uranus. If Saturn rewards hard work and punishes you when you don't put the effort in, then Uranus can turn things in your favor when you don't deserve it and can disrupt your life, you know, even if you've done everything right. Uranus will make sure that change happens, whether you like it or not. Uranus is freedom, innovation, collective memory, the internet, sudden change, sudden illumination, breakthroughs, disruption, creativity, liberation, your truth self, your authentic self. And so Uranus retrograde, which just happened yesterday, which we're in right now and we'll be really sitting in this week, is it's you who needs to change. So Uranus direct is a time to make changes in your environment or your outside world. You know, Uranus retrograde is a time for an internal change. So this time it's you who needs to change and not the world around you. So Uranian energy is like a scissor that cuts the ties of attachment to the past and pushes you to experience the world from a completely different perspective. The shift will take place in the realm of the unconscious. Resist the temptation to overanalyze your thoughts and actions. Remember, it is not Mercury that turns retrograde. With Uranus, the shift takes place in your subtle mind. So allow the universe to talk to you in its language, not yours. I highly, highly recommend meditation this week, or just getting quiet. And it doesn't have to be, you know, sitting for 30 minutes. It's like, just take a walk, like actually give yourself, like set your alarm for 5 minutes a day to actually get really quiet and listen to whatever divine inspiration is coming. Uranus retrograde can be experienced in a myriad of ways. Freedom. Uranus is all about allowing your spirit to fly freely and unrestricted by false demands or pretense. Uranus retrograde will bring you sort of like a key to the cage you once understood was your birthright. And, you know, like we sort of like construct these cages to live in. Pardon my Persian cat who's being very recalcitrant today. I can't get a hold on him right now. So his name is Mukti, it means enlightenment. And he's a VBC. He's a very bad cat. So basically, Uranus will bring you the key to this cage, right? Once you understand that the only freedom that is, you already have. So you can chain me, you can torture me, you can even destroy this body, but you will never imprison my mind. Remember that Gandhi said that. So this is like a reboot. Think about electricity. Its nature is on or off, you know, 0 and 1. Uranus will teach you that you can be 100% on in a moment and then completely switch off and reboot, which is good news. Whatever you do, start with a beginner's mind and just have a beginner's mind with, like, if your kids are going back to school, or I don't know, you're looking for a new job, like it's kind of like like a good visualization exercise is to imagine that you're an alien and you fall into Earth and you want to understand what the human race is all about. So you want to approach life with curiosity. And that is like, one can't prepare for Uranus, but like that is the closest one can come, is sort of like to see it through the wide eyes of like an alien, from another planet, or like almost like a child. So approach life with curiosity this week. A desire to get real and be honest with yourself is important. No more lies, no more comfort, in the face of reality. It's time to face the fears that you hold back, right? And get real about what you want and embrace your heart's desire and go after it. We have a new moon coming up in a few days as well, and that's going to trigger some of that as well. Become the person you really want to be and really get juicy with that. That's why I'm always talking about journaling and meditating, because I think both of those things are sort of essential for a blissed out life, to kind of put those building blocks in place and allow the sudden changes to come in with grace and dignity. Certainly trauma can come up with Uranus' stationing retrograde, and it can bring into awareness long forgotten memories. So take really good care of yourself. Anxiety, Uranus is disruptive, so we can experience fear and anxiety. I know there's a lot, it's like the world is teeming with it right now. So just be extra gentle with yourself. And also flashes of intuitive energy, which is my favorite part of Uranus, the Uranus magic. The higher guidance can come to you out of nowhere. Situations that seem impossible will begin to work themselves out. Uranus wants to liberate your mind from dogmas so that you can think free. How beautiful. And a free mind has nothing to prove to anyone, right? So also, people who have a lot of earth energy, that's Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or fixed energy, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. This will be a particularly intense Venus retrograde energy to deal with. Whereas people with a lot of air or mutable energy in their chart will thrive during this Uranus station. However disruptive changes may be, remember that Uranus is only working for your highest good. Like any of these changes it's not ever to punish you or to shock you for shock's sake. It's so that we're moving to the next level of being always. And now there's just one other placement this week, and I'm going to go into a greater detail with it in a couple days. But we have pull up the chart. We have a Leo new moon. And that's happening early in the week, but we're going to be feeling the reverberations for like 5-6 days after that for sure. The planet Mercury is going to join the Leo sun first, and then creativity and drama are all on the menu, right? Because of this Leo energy. And also a collective attitude is life affirming. It's very fiery. Mercury and the sun move closer together with Saturn, and the Leo moon is close with the Uranus. Like there's just a lot of conflicting energies in the sky. So, whether you're brainstorming a plan or you're just living your best life, things likely won't go as smoothly without a little elbow grease. So that's as it should be. The sun and Mercury are in a close place with Mars, so it's going, but it won't be boring, basically. Like where these two energies, the sun and Mercury, which is the trickster and the fast mover, is meeting up with Mars, who's sort of the planet of war and fighting and aggression and higher mind, but like big buzzy energy. It's not going to be dull. So are there any good plays to make this week without challenge and drama? It doesn't hurt to learn something along the way, but those are questions to ask. And then the new moon is going to show up on Tuesday morning. And basically it's going to be at 26 degrees Leo, and where this hits in your chart and in what houses, like that is something you have to look at a specific chart for, and I can work with you. I work with private clients all the time on this kind of thing. It helps to know what house these placements fall in. But where we are with this new moon is like the sun is in its fullest power in the zodiac of Leo. And on this new moon, it brings this sort of reminder that like no matter what happens in life, no matter how dark things may seem, like the dependence dependable sun is always going to be there. So this Leo new moon is going to be August 18th to 19th and bringing really strong solar energy. And so while this is a new moon and the night sky will be dark, we will be able to tune into our own inner sun and light up parts of ourselves that have been hidden in the shadows. So while 2020 has offered a million setbacks, it's also offered the opportunity to grow and change. And so how have you been making the best of the time you've been given? How can you maximize what is left of this year? Because we're obviously still inside and that's not changing anytime soon. So for some, this may be completing projects. For others, it may be learning how to rest and to dedicate time to wellness. There's no wrong way to use your time. But it's like under this sun with this moon in this way, you cannot give up on yourself or your dreams. You have to make the best of the hand you've been dealt and see what miracles and opportunities you make from wherever you may stand today. Like 2020 is actually the year of miracles. And that's no less true after 6 months of COVID than it was on January 1st, when like a numerologist could have taught a course about that. Like these are the days of miracles. So this new moon is guiding us. It will be lending an optimistic hand. It will be sending positive beams of uplifting energy to remind us to make the most of our time and what is left of the year. So while we have this motivating and inspiring energy to offer, there's also this other layer of the new moon as well. At the time of the new moon, we have the planet Mars very active, this really intense, aggressive action. And not only is Mars in the same place as Eris, who's a planet that's the goddess of discord and strife, it's also in a square to Saturn and Pluto and trine, which is like an open V to the sun and the moon. That Saturn and Pluto is like, it's as tough as it gets. It's as deep, as dark, as explosive and transformational and like pushing, boundary pushing as can be. So essentially this just means that Mars is very, very busy. So Mars will definitely be like, it's going to be fiery, bubbling at our core and motivating us to get things done. So it's going to be loud, like things might get loud. So it's a really good time to protect your energy while being crystal clear about what you want to manifest and really talking to your guides, just how, whether it's what nature, journals, everything. Trust the rhythm and cycles of your body, be patient with yourself, and not like, oh, this is a great week to manifest, so you have to get up at 5 a.m. and be a manifesting crazy person. It's not that. It's like sometimes we speed up by slowing down. But the important message of this week is to utilize the power of the sun. It's specifically here to really activate what our soul's purpose is in life. The sun is in his most exalting place in Leo, and this moon is really activating that, and it's asking us all right, okay, we're sending our kids back to school with COVID, distance learning. Okay, we're in month whatever. All these, there's so many things that you can list that are not great about what's going on right now, but there is magic everywhere. And really the message is by God, we're gonna live by our souls or else. That's really the message of the next 2 years, it distilled, if such a thing can be distilled into one sentence or less. So go with the sun, be in the sun, whatever that means for you. What does the sun mean? Who is the sun, to you? What is your sun? What is your North Star? That kind of thing. What makes you creative? What makes you shine the hardest, shine the most? What energy makes you wave one hand in the air with a drink in your other hand, or one hand waving free and dancing? What makes your soul do that? And, maybe pick one thing and, really adorn your life with that this week. Just give yourself the permission. And with that, I will say have a beautiful week. And my Instagram is @Lauren1111. You spell the words 11. That's my personal Instagram. And my business Instagram is @1111guided. Again, you spell the words 11, and I can, and my information is on the Bene Mudra website. I offer private consultations in astrology, numerology, and spiritual teaching. Thank you so much and have a beautiful week.